Well, that refers to me, and I was adopted and appointed by the previous guardian, the same way Abdulbaha adopted and appointed Mason Remy to succeed himself to the throne of David. And the reason Abdulbaha's grandson, Pepe, who was Mason Remy's adopted son, adopted and appointed me this way is it's part of bringing this test full circle. The main obstacle that the Bahais were tested on was they didn't realize that Charles Mason Remy Agsan was Abdulbaha's legally adopted son and a member of the Holy Family. Shoghi Effendi accepted this upon the passing of Abdulbaha in 1922. He made sure that Mason Remy received his inheritance in the form of a symbolic packet of the hair of Bahaullah and coagulated drops of his blood, the hair representing the headship of the Universal House of Justice, which is the throne of David, and the coagulated drops of blood representing that Mason Remy had inherited the bloodline of King David legally that came from Bahaullah and Abdulbaha. And then, of course, Shoghi Effendi welcomed Mason Remy as the president of that first IBC, International Baha'i Council, which he stated was the Universal House of Justice. So this is the same manner and style that Pepe went about doing this, of adopting me and appointing me in his letters in the same way that Abdulbaha had done this with Mason Remy. And it brings the test full circle. And the same way that Mason Remy had some people that didn't accept this in the main group back in 1957 and 1960, we had a reversal. We had a minority of people who objected to this today. And when they did, they wound up starting by taking me to court in Montana and suing me personally. And then this escalated with the main group suing us for our website at the World Intellectual Property Organization. And then it went back and forth to the Seventh Circuit Court. Now it's in the 10th Circuit of the federal court. And this is all because their views that they've put forward fall apart in the face of the simple fact that Bahaullah proclaimed that that the ancient beauty ruleth upon the throne of King David. So when all these different people formed 6 different Baha'i groups, separating themselves from the throne line of David continuing, it had to continue somehow, and it's documented. We can see in hindsight that this throne line of David passes down all the way from King David and Solomon through Bastani to Bahaullah, and then to Abdulbaha, and then to Mason Remy, Pepe, and then myself, and then so forth. There's not even anyone else that's in the running. Looking back at what happened in 1960, the Bahai Faith is either sans guardian, or there's only one person who even suggested they were the next guardian, Mason Remy. So the only way it can possibly continue is through Mason Remy. Well, if Mason Remy is not an Agsan, we can't accept him. So we're stuck with the sans guardian view in that case. But he is an Agsan. He's legally Abdulbaha's son and a member of the Holy Family. He was brought into the Holy Family. He lived there. He was the tutor to Shoghi Effendi. He ate dinner at their table, and he ran missions for Bahaullah or Abdulbaha throughout his ministry. Then he served Shoghi Effendi faithfully. Shoghi Effendi knew he was his uncle and knew that he'd inherited the throne of David, and that Shoghi Effendi's mission was to make sure that his uncle on the throne of David, Abdulbaha's son, was integrated as the president of that first House of Justice that would then evolve through 4 stages. But as they aborted it, it never had a meeting. And it was reestablished with the grandson at the head of it in January 9th of 1991, 50 years after January 9th of 1951, or 40 years after January 9th of 1951. And this is the House of Justice that we have today. So that pretty much sums it up. I'm personally of just little or no importance any more than people wonder about the second president of the council. Now there'll be a fourth one and a fifth one and a sixth one. It's important enough for us who are alive now. I mean, my life's important to me, and I'm glad I'm alive now. And I was very happy in the community during the days of the guardianship of Joseph Pepe Remy-Agsan and Dr. Leland's ministry as the establisher, because I, basically could maintain anonymity because people were focused on these other activities of those ones that were more in leadership type roles. But I don't consider myself anything other than a follower of Bahaullah. I don't have any followers myself. I don't have any students. I consider myself a member of a community of people who are independent thinkers. And we're able to consult with each other, of course. And the faith is just moving forward very rapidly. And this is because God is directing the affairs of the faith, not any of us. And when these things come to a head, sometimes we have to coordinate with each other so to make sure that what God's doing with all the diverse people works smoothly. But that's mostly kind of like trying to stay out of our own way and be able to have enough insight to see how God is governing things.